water. It's the essence of life, but also a force of destruction. For centuries, civilizations across the globe have shared stories of one great flood, an overwhelming deluge that reshaped humanity and the earth itself. From Noah's Ark in the Bible to the Epic of Gilgamesh in Mesopotamia, the tale of the Great Flood has been passed down for generations, carrying profound themes of judgment, survival, and renewal. But why are these stories so universal? How could cultures separated by oceans and thousands of years all have such similar myths? In this episode of the Legends of Antiquity, we're diving into the Great Flood, its stories, its shared themes, and its impact on history and our modern lives. Could there have been a historical event that inspired these myths, or do they speak to something deeper? A reflection of humanity's collective fears and hopes? Join me as we unravel the mysteries of the flood and discover what it truly means for us today. The global flood, a shared story across cultures. One of the most remarkable things about the Great Flood is how many cultures tell a similar story. Let's start with some of the most famous examples. Noah's Ark, Genesis 6:9. In the Bible, God decides to cleanse the earth of corruption and violence, sparing only Noah, his family, and pairs of animals. Noah builds an ark, and after 40 days and nights of rain, the waters recede, and the ark rests on Mount Ararat. The story ends with a covenant, the rainbow as a sign of God's promise never to destroy the earth by flood again. The Epic of Gilgamesh, Mesopotamia. Predating the Bible, this tale features Uranapishtim, who is warned by the gods of a catastrophic flood. He builds a massive boat, saves his family and animals, and after the flood is granted immortality. Hindu mythology, Manu and the fish. In the story, Manu is warned by a fish, an avatar of the god Vishnu, about a coming flood. Manu builds a boat, and the fish guides him to safety, ensuring the survival of life. Deucalion and Pyrrha, Greek myth. Zeus floods the earth to punish human wickedness. Deucalion and Pyrrha survive by building an ark, and after the waters recede, they repopulate the earth by throwing stones that turn into humans. Native American flood myths. The Hopi tell of floods caused by human arrogance, while the Aztecs describe a deluge sent by the gods to cleanse humanity. These stories, though from vastly different cultures, share striking similarities: divine judgment, a chosen survivor, and the preservation of life. Why? What connects them? Let's break down the common threads that make these stories so powerful. 1. Judgment of humanity. In almost every flood myth, the flood is a response to human corruption or disobedience. In Genesis, God sends the flood because the earth was filled with violence. Similarly, in Greek mythology, Zeus floods the earth to punish humans for their hubris. Few, the chosen few. A righteous individual or family is always spared. Noah, Utanapishti, Manu, Deucalion, representing hope and the potential for renewal. 3. Renewal and second chances. Floods aren't just about destruction, they're about starting over. After the flood, Noah receives a promise of peace from God, while Manu becomes the progenitor of a new age in Hindu mythology. 4. Survival against odds. These stories inspire resilience, showing that even in the face of catastrophe, humanity can endure. These themes reflect universal human concerns, our fear of judgment, our desire for redemption, and our hope for a better future. What really happened? Let's exploring the evidence. Now, let's move from myth to science. Could these stories be rooted in real events? Number one, the Black Sea Deluge theory. Around 7,000 years ago, rising sea levels breached a natural dam, flooding the Black Sea basin. This sudden and catastrophic event may have inspired Mesopotamian and biblical flood stories. Rising sea levels after the Ice Age. At the end of the last ice age, melting glaciers caused dramatic sea level rises, submerging coastal regions. These events could explain the widespread nature of flood myths. 3. Mesopotamian flood records. Archaeologists have discovered layers of sediment in cities like Ur, consistent with massive floods around 3000 BCE. While a global flood covering the entire Earth is unlikely, these regional catastrophes may have left such a profound impact on early civilizations that they became woven into cultural memory. The, the differences, though these stories are similar, each culture adds its own perspective. And so the Bible, the single omnipotent God, enacts judgment, but also shows mercy and establishes a covenant. Mesopotamia, the gods act unpredictably, their favor and wrath often arbitrary. Hindu mythology, the flood is part of a natural cosmic cycle of destruction and renewal, emphasizing harmony with the divine. Native American myths, the flood serves as a moral lesson about respecting nature and the gods. Asians reflect each culture's worldview and its relationship with the divine, nature, and humanity. The flood is a metaphor. Even if the Great Flood wasn't a historical event, it holds profound symbolic meaning. 1. Moral cleansing. The flood represents wiping away corruption and starting fresh. 2. A nature's power. A reminder of humanity's vulnerability in the face of natural forces. 3. Personal transformation. The flood can symbolize personal hardships that lead to growth and renewal. These metaphors resonate because they speak to our shared experiences of loss, change, and resilience. Flood myths remain deeply relevant today. 1. Climate change. Rising sea levels and modern floods echo ancient fears of nature's wrath. 2. Social renewal after catastrophes. Just as floods wiped away the old, events like pandemics and wars force societies to rebuild. 3. Personal growth. On an individual level, challenges often feel like floods, but they can lead to transformation. These stories remind us of our capacity to endure, adapt, and rebuild. The Great Flood, whether historical fact or powerful metaphor, speaks to the heart of the human condition. It's a story of destruction and renewal, judgment and mercy, fear and hope. So, what's your flood story? How have challenges reshaped your life and led to new beginnings? Thank you for joining me on the Legends of Antiquity. Until next time, stay resilient, stay hopeful, and embrace the new beginnings life offers.